Welcome to Walking with the Tengu, the podcast where we dive deep into big ideas from philosophy, science, and math, and explore how they apply to everyday life, including the world of martial arts. I'm your host, Matthew, and today we're tackling one of the most mind-bending concepts in logic, Gödel's incompleteness theorems. But don't worry, we're not just staying in the abstract realm. We'll connect this to real-world applications for martial artists with specific examples from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Wing Chun. So let's get into it. First off, who was Kurt Gödel? Born in 1906 in what is now the Czech Republic, Gödel was a brilliant logician and mathematician. In 1931, at just 25 years old, he published his incompleteness theorems, which shook the foundations of mathematics. These theorems basically say that in any sufficiently powerful formal system, think of it like a set of rules for proving truths in math, there are limits to what you can prove. Let me break it down. Gödel's first incompleteness theorem states that in any consistent formal system that can handle basic arithmetic, like adding and multiplying numbers, there will always be statements that are true but cannot be proven within that system. It's like saying, this sentence is true, but you can't prove it using the rules we're playing by. Gödel cleverly constructed such a statement using self-reference, kind of like the liar paradox. This statement is false, but he made it rigorous for math. Another favorite of mine is the statement, there are no absolute truths, which itself has to be absolutely true, thus disproving itself. The second incompleteness theorem builds on that. It says that such a system can't prove its own consistency. In other words, you can't use the rules of the game to prove that the game itself doesn't have contradictions. To check if your system is solid, you need to step outside of it. So why does this matter? Back in the early 20th century, mathematicians like David Hilbert were dreaming of a complete and consistent foundation for all of math, a set of axioms from which every true statement could be derived. Gödel showed that that's impossible. It's a profound limit on human knowledge, showing that some truths are forever beyond formal proof. Now, you might be thinking, cool, but I'm a martial artist. How does this apply to me? A fair question. Martial arts are systems too, structured sets of techniques, principles, and strategies designed to handle conflict. Just like in math, these systems have inherent limitations. Gödel's theorems remind us that no system is complete. There will always be true solutions or scenarios that can't be proven or addressed purely within the system's rules. This encourages humility, adaptability, and innovation. For a martial artist, it means recognizing when to evolve your style, borrow from others, or improvise beyond the textbook. Let's apply this to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. BJJ is a grappling art focused on ground fighting, submissions, and positional control. Its formal system includes guards, passes, escapes, sweeps, joint locks, and chokes, all built on leverage and technique over brute strength. But Gödel's theorem suggests there are true defenses or attacks that exist but can't be fully proven or countered within BJJ's core rules alone. Take an example. Imagine you're in a tournament and your opponent is a massive wrestler with explosive takedowns. BJJ's system excels on the ground, but what if the fight never gets there? I know, rare, but I have seen a skilled judoka go into a BJJ tournament. His strategy was to throw his opponent over and over again, accruing points for getting the takedown repeatedly and to engage in minimal ground fighting. He won within the rules without engaging in the expected behavioral norms. The theorem is analogous to situations where the system's assumptions, like we'll end up grappling, don't hold. A pure BJJ practitioner might find their techniques incomplete against stand-up threats. This is like an improvable statement. The truth is that integrating striking or wrestling from outside the system could resolve it, but you can't prove that solely with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. In real life, we've seen this play out. Early UFC fights exposed BJJ's limitations against strikers, leading to the evolution of MMA. Fighters like Royce Gracie proved BJJ's power, but then guys like Mark Coleman showed wrestling could also dominate. Today, top BJJ athletes like Gordon Ryan incorporate no-gi adaptations and even leg locks that push beyond traditional boundaries. In fact, I would argue that the entire BJJ competition scene is just a revolving door of momentarily useful strategies that exploit weaknesses inherent in the metagame of the community that then get patched and the prevailing strategies evolve again. The reintroduction of leg locks into the general strategy of the community is a good example. Leg locks predate the existence of BJJ as a recognizable system, and I've seen photographic documentation of various leg locks in 19th century grappling manuals, ranging from Indian wrestling to judo. Heck, even Bruce Lee's The Tao of Jeet Kune Do documents leg locks. The point being, Gödel would say, your system is consistent but incomplete to handle all, air quotes, truths in combat. You need to acknowledge the gaps and expand. Switching gears now to Wing Chun, a Chinese martial art made famous by Bruce Lee and Ip Man, Wing Chun emphasizes efficiency, centerline theory, simultaneous attack and defense, and close-range combat. Its formal system is compact, chain punches, sticky hands, chisao, and forms like Xiu Nim Tao. It's designed for quick, direct resolution against untrained aggressors. But applying Gödel, Wing Chun system assumes fights happen at trapping range with linear attacks. There are true scenarios like long-range kicks or ground grappling that are real threats but can't be proven or fully countered within Wing Chun's axioms alone. It's consistent for its niche but incomplete for broader combat. A concrete example. Picture a street fight where an opponent grabs you and takes you down. Very common in real-world altercations. Even if unintentionally people fall down, Wing Chun's stand-up focus might leave you scrambling. The air quotes unprovable statement here is a ground escape that requires BJJ-like techniques. You can't derive it from Wing Chun's principles without stepping outside. Bruce Lee himself recognized this. He evolved Wing Chun into Jeet Kune Do by incorporating boxing, grappling, fencing, and more, saying, absorb what is useful, discard what is not. That's Gödel in action, admitting your system's limits and seeking external consistency checks. For martial artists in both arts, Gödel's lesson is practical. In training, it means cross-training. A BJJ guy might drill Muay Thai clinch work to handle stand-up incompleteness. A Wing Chun practitioner could add judo throws to bridge gaps. It fosters a growth mindset. Don't cling to dogma. Embrace that some truths require hybrid approaches. Or they could train in each other's arts. My second teacher taught both BJJ and Wing Chun. You could feel it when you crossed hands with him. He grappled with incredible trapping, and his chisao had incredible base. Philosophically, it's empowering, just as Gödel didn't destroy math, he advanced it. Recognizing limits in your martial art doesn't weaken it. It strengthens you. It encourages creativity, like improvising a sweep in BJJ when a standard escape fails, or adapting Wing Chun's economy of motion to evade a wild haymaker. Gödel's theorems teach us that perfection is a myth. In math, in martial arts, in life. Systems have blind spots. For the martial artist, this means staying humble, adaptable, and ever learning. Whether you're rolling on the mats in BJJ or practicing with a wooden dummy in Wing Chun, remember, the quest for completeness is endless, and that's what makes it exciting. Thanks for tuning in to Walking with the Tengu. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe, leave a review, and let me know in the comments, what's a limit in your martial art you've overcome? Until next time, keep thinking, keep training.